Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny.
Hello and welcome to my Mind of Your Matter. My name is Rick, and let's turn on the cameras. All right. Uh, it's gonna be a wild one. It's a little review for the week, but also dealing with this hurricane that exploded overnight. Talking about bumbogenesis. This is a pure example of a bumbogenesis where the category 1 hurricanes overnight turns into a category 4 in the morning, really close to becoming a category 5 hurricane. This hurricane is on steroids right now, and it is not looking good. Let me get this set up here for us. Give me 1 second while I set this up. Here we go. Let me change this here. And let's make this a little bit bigger because it's more important. All right, what we're seeing here is the path where the storm's supposed to go. But right now, this storm, it's an overachiever. We got a category 4 hurricane, and it's sustained winds at 155 miles per hour. It is a strong high level Cat 4. It's only 2 miles away from Cat 5. I think they need to restructure this. Once it hits 155, that should be a category 5 hurricane. Movement west at 17 miles per hour. That's different because it was going west northwest, but now it's going westward. So is it going to go more towards this way, or is it going to catch and then finally pull up? Because right now it's looking like it's moving westward. That's what it's reported here. Let's go ahead and check out the satellite view. Let's check out a mesoscale on this storm. Wow, look at this beauty. Wow, it looks like a donut. That looks like that's beautiful. Mother Nature is beautiful, but man, this is a killer. Oh my god, look at the deep convection. Look at the pinks and purples coming out from the inside the donut here. Look at that pinks. That's where you know that you're getting very strong energy into this system. This has pure hot water here, and not only that, but the atmosphere is just perfect for the storm to take off even more. 155 ain't gonna do us justice. Let's see how strong this thing's gonna get. I think it'll top off maybe around 165. I'd say maybe 170. It could possibly get to. That's wild. The Puerto Rico is about to get embedded with this feeder band here, and they're going to be within this feeder band for a while because the storm is moving across, but it's supposed to slow down once it reaches like the longitude of Puerto Rico, and then it's supposed to curve up. But lately it's just been moving westward, and not by much, but it's moving westward. That's scary. Let's go ahead and check out. Let's go to the land. Let's go to this satellite here. Okay, I'm not liking this one. Let's go to the Western Atlantic. Because now it's entered into the Western Atlantic satellite here, and you can see very clearly this storm is wobbling, but it's been moving west. For the past few hours, it's been moving west. Oh yeah, it's been moving west. So is the storm gonna continue to move west and then pull upwards? And then how long is it gonna take for it to take that like straight up north turn? That's the question. Is the storm gonna stall out and just stay like in a slow pace and then move north? Because it's gonna have to slow down eventually. Oh man, this is gonna be super dangerous for the islands, especially Puerto Rico with rain. Don't worry about the winds of the storm. Worry about the heavy flooding that's going to happen. Man, this is not going to be good. The news is not going to be good out of Puerto Rico in a few days. because it's going to take a while for the storm to come across over. And then you got to understand, this is going to be sitting over Puerto Rico for hours and hours and hours. And you're going to get heavy rain for hours and hours and hours. So I'm telling you, the major, like, what people die the most is not from the winds. They die from the rain, from the flooding. Like, that's where people die. They don't die from the wind. Okay. So this is going to be a pretty big a rain event for Puerto Rico. Doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. That looks very scary. Let's see if we could get a nice. Let me see. Let's get some news on this. Let's go ahead and jump over here. We got some Fox News here.
Good morning. Thank you so much for sticking with us right here on Fox Weather as you look live in St. Paul, Minnesota, where showers and thunderstorms certainly wreaked havoc across parts of the land of 10,000 lakes earlier. From there, of course, we continue to talk about what is going on in the tropics. It really is an impressive morning, to say the least. Hurricane Erin, we call it a rapid intensification cycle that it went through. But at this point, Jane, I almost want to call it like an extreme, an exceptional cycle of rapid intensification where at 8 a.m. yesterday morning, this thing only had winds of 70 miles per hour. As of the 8 o'clock advisory this morning on Saturday, we're expecting another advisory here in the next 30 minutes or so. So please make sure you stick with us for that. But this thing ramped up by 75 miles per hour up to high-end Category 4 storm, 145-mile-per-hour winds. Jane, I think this thing is on track to possibly becoming a Category 5, the highest on the Saffir-Simpson scale.
We'll find out at the top of the hour, won't we?
Yeah,
right?
we will.
You know, I think that this storm is.
It's already at 155. I think they're going to break in.
When it comes to its rate of rapid
intensification. Wow, look at the pressure.
Presentation. I think this is interesting. We just got another
927.
The Hurricane Hunter is going through the eye of the storm. And the difference here is what we call the orientation and the diameter.
Yeah.
So we call this a concentric eye. What does that mean? Well, essentially, we had that pinhole eye. Remember? It started at 8, went to 7. Now it's down to about 5 nautical miles. So as that gets smaller, well, it has to be. And so you're going to see those thunderstorms on the over as the center of the storm itself.
So basically, these storms here kind of working into the center of the storm is what you're talking about.
So it'll be interesting because we talk about eye wall replacement cycles, and often occurs with the strongest of storms, right? And an eye wall replacement cycle will briefly weaken the system, and the 11M advisory is in. So we're going to go through that. But why I think this is important is because not only will we see this eye wall replacement cycle likely happen in the next 12 hours, maybe 12 to 24 hours if I wanted to be on the safe side, it opens up the door for further strengthening, but also too, I think this eye wall replacement cycle will finally open up the door to bring us back to that neutral and track that's been further south the last couple hours.
Jane, the 11 o'clock advisory just came in. We do want to make sure that we explicitly let you know that the winds are now up to 155 miles per hour. That is the highest of echelons of a Category 4 storm, usually at 157. That is a Category 5. And the National Hurricane Center saying they are now forecasting this to become a Category 5 hurricane, the highest on the Saffir-Simpson scale. You can see that the pressure is down to 923 millibars. And this now, an update on the cone is what we're seeing. And at least as of what I'm seeing, what jumps out to me is this right here. By the overnight hours tonight into early tomorrow morning, those winds have increased in terms of what the National Hurricane Center is projecting. That is a Category 5 storm by tomorrow morning as this gets dangerous.
I think it'd be a Category 5 by later this afternoon.
Puerto Rico, but also the lesser Antilles.
I don't think it's going to be by tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot earlier than that.
Landfall impacts. That's the good news out of all this. But when you have a strong storm like this, we're talking about intense rip currents, intense wave action.
Almost Category 5.
And then rain is going to be a huge player in this too.
They did not go
Damn,
to a Cat 5.
155
That's telling.
on the
Yeah.
winds.
Right. So waiting to see. I mean, the hurricane hunters are going to be flying through the storm all day long. The eyewall replacement cycle, getting that concentric eye in that latest vortex message. I think there's a little bit of a holding back on, okay, let's wait to see how that goes before we can officially say, okay, this
Man,
is
the
a
rip
Category
currents are
5
going to be
storm. But the
crazy
indication here
this
that
weekend.
even if you're going
Actually,
through an eyewall replacement cycle, it will
next
strengthen
week.
back up. But to my point before on kind of
Wow,
staying a
look at
little further
that.
to the south, I think even with this updated cone,
It's close
hugging the
to us
left
here in the
side of the
Northeast.
track. And why that's important, because for the United States, while we're confident that this is going to curve, right, and it's going to
the
stay
waves.
offshore of the East Coast, the more left-leaning we are on the track, the bigger the impact is going to be with those wave heights, with the rip currents, with beach erosion, and perhaps even in spots like the Cape Hatteras, and the Outer Banks, even a little bit of storm surge. And I'm careful when I say that, but at the same time, you think about how much energy is out there being pushed from this massive storm that is only going to grow in size. I wouldn't be surprised if along Highway 12 there on the Outer Banks, we could possibly see a little bit of inundation.
Yeah, we have Chris Tate, one of our meteorologists behind the scenes. And Chris, I'm curious.
And it depends if it lands on
I'm
high
assuming that
tide.
this is an update because this is the new cone update, because the previous cone, and why we wanted to show this before, actually had, it was almost in like this sort of fashion up here, where the previous cone actually had the actual eye itself almost on the southern periphery of the cone. It was nearly outside of the cone itself. And I say that because it means that the storm has more than just wobbled, if you will. Sometimes, you see it, especially during an eyewall replacement cycle, you see a lot of wobbling. This almost looks like it was on another course and another track that was a little further south, which, to your point earlier, is going to bring much more surf action to the northern sides of Puerto Rico.
But despite that, no alerts still. In this latest advisory, they still did not issue alerts for the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. But nonetheless, tropical storm force wind gusts, rain, and rough surf still likely.
Yeah, and as we're watching Erin's movements, it has the potential to impact the local economies on land, sea, and of course in the air. Let's take a deep dive into some market meteorology to see how severe weather impacts business decisions. So America's accountant, Dan
I'm not gonna
Geltrude,
go watch
certified
the
public
whole
accountant, joins us
newscast on
now.
that because we got the update as of 11 a.m. Hurricane Erin just increased in wind speed from 145 to 155. Is moving westward. It's moving west at 17 miles per hour. The system is a beast. I'm telling you about beast mode it's in right now, and pretty soon it will be a Category 5 hurricane. Within probably the next update, it could reach Category 5 status, which is only 2 more miles per hour. So they need to, I think, restructure that because it sounds stupid, but I mean, 155 should already be a Category 5 hurricane. Why do we have to wait for another 2 miles per hour to classify it as a Category 5? It just doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is at 155, Category 5, and then upwards, it's like Category 5, but like an A, B, C, D level of Cat 5. Because remember, Cat 5, that's the last of all, like, of radiant. So the 5 is the highest. But then you gotta say, all right, if it's 155, the minimum of the Cat 5, what would be the maximum of a Cat 5, right? Because many storms could get up to like 170, 180 miles per hour winds. And that's full cycle mode. That's crazy mode. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a wild, very wild, just to be following it and see where it goes. And hopefully it doesn't come towards us here in the Northeast, because we really wouldn't want that. But let's go and get some more news, and Let's watch together. This is some outcome from yesterday's meeting between Putin and Trump. Do got some news on what's going to be happening. As of Monday, seems like Zelensky is coming to the White House on Monday, I believe, and I hope he brings a suit because we're not playing these little military war games dressing like a little GI Joe. That's not going to work. So let's go ahead and check out some news.
President Volodymyr Zelensky and President Trump both confirming that Zelensky will travel to the White House on Monday for an Oval Office meeting. The two leaders held lengthy phone calls late last night following the historic summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, Zelensky says he received
Hey,
from
Maggie.
the U.S. on guaranteeing
How you
security
doing,
of the
Maggie?
country.
I just
That's right,
switched
and it
over to
comes after
StreamYard.
Trump and Putin met in Alaska yesterday for a
Yeah,
very rare
I made it
face-to-face
past 500.
negotiation. The president describing the
Now we're gonna try to
high-stakes
reach
meeting with
1,000.
Putin as a 10, and then posting to Truth Social this morning saying, quote, "It was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and
Hey,
Ukraine
Maggie.
is to go directly to a peace agreement and not a mere ceasefire agreement, which oftentimes do not hold up."
Joining us with the latest on the summit is Rebecca Castor. She's live from Washington with the details. Good morning, Rebecca.
Charlie, good morning. For now, Trump is sharing very little details on what he discussed with Putin to not disrupt the deal as he's making it. It all started yesterday with B-2 bombers and fighter jets flying over the
Wow,
world
this is a
leaders on the
cool
tarmac
moment.
in Alaska, an opportunity for the U.S. to
You can
show
watch it
off
on my
our
channel.
military strength.
I had it live.
Putin and President Trump met for about 3 hours and say many details regarding Ukraine were agreed to, but they're not there yet.
I came on
Putin
early
did,
today.
however, make this stunning admission.
Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, businesslike, and trustworthy contact.
Then President Trump then responded to Putin's confession.
I was very happy to hear him say if I was president, that war would have never happened. I see everyone saying worst since World War II by far. There's nothing even close. But we had a very good meeting today, and I think a lot of points were negotiated.
I'm happy you're here, Maggie.
Putin's profession comes as Trump tells Fox's Brett Baier that Chinese President Xi Jinping assured him that he wouldn't invade Taiwan during his term. Even though a Ukraine peace deal hasn't been reached yet, some lawmakers are already advocating for Trump to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Congressman Andy Ogle's writing, today President Trump did what no leader could, brought Russia and the U.S. back to the table. From the Abraham Accords to North Korea, his record is peace through strength. I'm drafting his Nobel Peace Prize nomination now. Stay tuned. And we'll stay tuned to see if Trump can get this to the finish line. Back to you guys.
I knew he was
Thank
going to
you,
win
Rebecca.
that award.
Thanks, Rebecca. Truly historic, extraordinary day yesterday. And I have to say that
Yeah, we do. We got to
President
catch
Putin
up.
arriving in Alaska, the first Russian president to ever visit Alaska, which is kind of extraordinary considering the history of that spot of land between.
You see
United States and
the red
Russia,
carpet
which is
didn't go
only
all the way
miles
to
away from
Trump's
Russia, in
plane.
fact.
Have you noticed that?
For him to
People are
land
not
there
talking
in-
about
in
it,
a
but
moment
I
from
am.
What you're seeing on the screen right
Trump
there,
had to walk on the
as they're
pavement and then
about
get
to
on the red
mount
carpet
stage is
and then
when
greet
that B-2 bomber
Putin.
with the F-35s come roaring over.
Hold on, maybe because this is talking over. Bring it back to me. That's what I was talking about yesterday about the red carpet. The red carpet didn't extend all the way to Trump's plane. Like it was like half. It was like half a red carpet. And Trump was walking on the cement, like on the pavement, and then he got on the red carpet and then waited for Zelensky to come down. Zelensky was like trying to go shake his hand as quick as possible. And you can see it all. I recorded it. I was on yesterday live for like over 7 hours, but 2 of those hours I wasn't on. I had to get some stuff done, but I came back and was having internet problems, of course, because this internet is driving me crazy. But a lot of symbolism especially with the B-2 bombers coming over with all the jets like guiding it and caught Putin by surprise. That Putin actually looked up. He was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking ballsy!" Like that that's a show of force. You know, it's a friendly force, but it's a force that I would not want to deal with. Uh, but yeah, Maggie, we gotta catch up soon. You gotta. I'm glad you caught the live. I was trying to come on live, to get you on. I'm gonna be coming back to magic again. I'm gonna be doing my psychic work again. I got like more confirmation yesterday to do it, and I'm gonna get back into the magic. So we definitely got. We've had internet problems too. Yeah, for some reason we've been having internet problems. I don't know what's going on. I know it has to do with the sun and the sun projecting so much energy towards the earth that people are not really paying attention to, but it gives you signs that the energy is hyped by the internet and how the service is acting. It's been acting pretty weird for the past few weeks, and nothing I can do about it, but wait until it comes back and then continue. Um, but I'm getting back into the magic. I'm getting back into tarot. I'm gonna get back into doing what I know best. I'm gonna upgrade, do a little bit more upgrades here. I'm actually gonna do a little investment again on myself. Do an investment, invest in myself, right? Because that's the best thing to do, invest in yourself. So what I'm gonna do is invest into the show and keep investing into the show. What I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna get a couple of clamps here, and I'm gonna put possibly a tablet like right here, possibly a tablet maybe somewhere up here. It'll be somewhere up here with once I put the bracket on once I put the bracket on the side and then bring it up so I can put it like maybe somewhere around here so I can see the the television. I'm projecting everything from from my computer to a television, right? With the television I could see, but to a limit, because my eyes are kind of like, I get new glasses next week, but my issue is that, oh, of course, my camera zooms in. That's a new feature that I can control the camera with my fingers. So I got to be careful with my fingers. Um, what I want to do is I'm gonna wait till Black Friday this year for the television. I'm gonna get a bigger television. Right now I got I think this one's a 60 65. I'm gonna get about an 80-inch, maybe an 80-inch, and then I'm gonna put the 80-inch on the wall, and then I'm gonna see everything in front of me, but on the wall, so I could monitor everything and right in front of me, and then I'm gonna have the tablet here to for comments and for another camera where I can move the tablet downwards, and then I can do my readings here, and people could see from two cameras where you see live here and you'll see the live from over this camera facing downwards to see the cards that I draw out for readings. So that way it's a lot easier than me just coming like this and showing you the cards, even though it still work if I do that, because let me grab my cards. I have them here, my little trusty tarot cards. Bring them out. You have been released to the world. These cards, I had them for so long. Oh my goodness. But this is my go-to deck. This is my deck, my original first deck ever. Such a great deck. I'm gonna do a show, maybe maybe tomorrow morning or something. We could return to Magic. That'd be a nice thing to do. Come back and start doing tarot readings. But I got the decks here, right? So let's say I want a close up, bring it up. bring it close, and then we'll pull out a card, and then we got the Ace of Cups in reverse. So it's gonna be good things happening for us. We're gonna have very good times. I believe, and I got a like real good close up. You got the psychic background here that you can see. Other than that, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock. Let's get we got to get the readings again. Maggie got to come back on here to do readings in the future. You got to get your ass going too. You got to bring back Maggie. We need Maggie to bring that energy back. I've been hustling behind the scenes and trying to get more subscribers, and I'm past the 500 mark. I think I'm around 512 now. So thank you for another one that came on and subscribed. You guys are. We gotta keep bringing them in. We gotta keep bringing people. We got another, yeah. So we're at 512. So that's a big. But I got to do my part too. I got to put up a lot of shorts, and get people to subscribe from the shorts, and then bring their way here. And I'm gonna, instead of doing the news all the time, because the only reason why I'm doing the news is because there's no audience. So if there's no audience, I'm not gonna be here and just like, okay, I'm gonna do a reading, but there's nobody here. So no. So I'm gonna entertain myself with the news, and then give my point on how I feel as an energy reader on the news. So that's what I've been doing lately. It's been fun doing the news. I like it. I don't mind covering the news, and getting information out to us. A lot of people don't pay attention to the news. A lot of people just don't watch the news, and I am one to force people to watch, because we got to pay attention to what's going on around the world at all times. It's like we have to be aware. And we got some more here to let's continue this. You know what? I'm not gonna go back to the Putin thing, because we already know about the Putin thing. But I do want to check out this one here, because this one is a crazy little story that happened. So I haven't seen all the stuff that I put up here. I have not seen it yet. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and watch this one with you guys, because I want to see what it's about. Man jumps into car hood on wild attempt to dodge DC arrest. What? Are you kidding me? Let me see if I can bring up the quality here. All right, got the quality up. So let's go ahead and watch this. Let me go to the chat real quick. Maggie, I was reading last week, but not online. Aw, you're doing a great job. Thank you, Maggie. Albie, what's up, Albie? Albie in the house. I'm going to get all the originals back here. Got to bring Maggie back. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and see the story. What's going on here? Is the police? Ambulance? Is the guy fighting? Oh shit, he is. Oh, they're spraying him. Oh, but they're female officers. What's he doing? Oh no. Oh, that's a male officer. You better rip him off. He's holding on to the windshield wiper.
Put your hands behind your back.
Tase him. Taser, taser, taser. Taser, taser, taser. Hello? Any moment now? And what's these soldiers standing here? They're not doing nothing. They need to assist.
Get the off of me! Get the off of me!
Get him to the floor. Get him onto the floor.
What are you doing? I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing.
I mean, the soldiers are just standing there, not assisting. They should be assisting on this arrest. These officers they don't even have the situation under control. What's he doing?
Why y'all doing what you doing
Are you kidding me? Only in Washington, D.C. you see this.
Put your hands behind your back.
Like that, she has some power. Put your hands behind your back, and I'm just gonna hold this here. And the soldiers are just standing there looking. Look, they're just walking by.
Bro, get the off of me. Stop kicking. Get the off of me. Get him down. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! They call that like resisting arrest. He just added more time to his life behind bars. There, it's just crazy. Um, hey, Robin, how you doing? It's been a while. This is crazy here. Not all over. So yeah, it's just everywhere here. But I'm surprised the soldiers were just standing there and not assisting because I mean the police were struggling with this individual and they could have easily like got this guy subdued easily and got the situation under control. I think it went on a little bit too long than it would should have. Um, let's see. Let's check this one out here. I want to see this story. Let's check it out together.
Here on Live Now from Fox, I just did want to share with you this live look coming to our newsroom this morning at the nation's capital there in Washington, D.C. I also wanted to share with you some of our other live looks here, the White House this morning. All right, so we did want to have a live discussion here. A new law in New Jersey could send parents to jail for their children's misbehavior. According to the Township of Gloucester Minors and Parents Responsibility Ordinance, if a child is repeatedly found guilty of loitering, repeated school absences, violating curfew, felonies, or other offenses, their parents could face up to 90 days in prison and a $2,000 fine. Now, the ordinance was passed by the Township Council on July 28th. It was introduced after incidents of public disturbance involving kids at events like last year's Gloucester Township Day and Drone Show. During that event, a large brawl involving teens broke out and 11 people were arrested, including 9 teenagers. That's according to NewJersey.com. The ordinance includes 28 different offenses that range from felonies to minor infractions such as loitering and breaking curfew. Let's bring in a friend of the show, Jeremy Rosenthal, to break this all down for us here this morning on Live Now from Fox. Thank you as always for joining us here, Jeremy. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with how this is even possible, right? Is this really something that can be made into a law? We see it has been, but what does this entail? Can you break it down for us?
You can pass anything and make anything a law if you want to. The way that this works is that if a child is found delinquent multiple times, it could be of robbery, it could be of selling drugs, it could be, like you said, of loitering, or some more vague things like immorality or associating with other bad characters. Multiple times, the parent could face up to a $2,000 fine, and the parent could face up to 90 days of jail. So this is kind of a bit of a strict law. Now, the township, the police chief, the mayor all say, well, we don't really mean it this way. We just kind of mean this in a way to sort of get the parents' attention to act.
The medicine ready.
But it's a bit of a hammer. 90 days in jail isn't a lot of fun. You can lose a job. You can lose a home. So it's a little cutting edge and controversial.
I wanted to share this post here. Disrespectful, out of control behavior. New Jersey police chief explains why parents could now face these fines. So when we talk about this out of control behavior, I mentioned some of it a little bit when I brought you in here, but what really defines this unruly behavior? What are some of those examples of offenses that could lead to these penalties for parents?
Some are pretty clear cut and some are intuitive, right? Armed robbery, vandalism, theft, selling drugs, those types of things. Where it gets really muddy and probably kind of problematic is where it starts talking about just immorality, where it starts talking about associations of the teenagers, of the kids, loitering, truancy, things like that. I think that in most instances, and this is as a lawyer and who's handled a lot of juvenile cases, there's sort of this idea, there's sort of this mindset that I can do a better job of raising your kids. If your kids are getting in trouble, it's because you're a bad parent, but I'm always the good parent. Doing juvenile law, you deal with a lot of parents who felt that way before it was their child that really got into trouble. I think in a lot of instances, if there's a lot of criticism of this law, there's in multiple fronts. One of them is certainly, look, parents need help in these situations. The parent of a truant child needs help. It's really hard to get a 6'2" teenager out of bed every single day who just doesn't want to do it. It's definitely a balance, because parenting certainly comes into the equation, but at some point, children are responsible for their own choices, young adults and teenagers. So Gloucester Township has certainly had a lot of issues. The Gloucester Day Festival that you talked about, the drone show, had over 500 kids that were estimated to be unruly. There were police officers that were injured. There's been an uptick in that town of this type of violence. It's a city of about 65,000 people. It's a suburb of Philadelphia. So they're no stranger to this type of issue, and they're really frustrated and want to solve it.
So, Jeremy, what legal defenses, though, might parents have if they are charged under this ordinance? How can they really protect themselves?
Apologies to Gloucester Township. This law is wildly unconstitutional, and this is why we have a constitution. This is why we have a Supreme Court, because the framers recognize that throughout time, small towns, small municipalities, states would sort of overreact like this. There's a couple of legal problems. The first is we don't punish people criminally for things that another person does. You can be held on the hook civilly, potentially, for vandalism that your child does, but to put you in jail, to put you in a cage for something that somebody else does, we just don't do that in the United States. That's one problem. Another problem is that some of these terms are so vague that they're going to be enforced in a way that's very selective and arbitrary. Immorality, right? Associations, things like that. And basically the town has kind of said, well, look, we're going to pass this law, but we don't really mean it. We're going to kind of deal with parents, and we just want to kind of scare them and do these things. And where that turns problematic is the police chief. That's fine and well now, but is he going to be the police chief in 30 years or 50 years or 100 years? I doubt it. And the person who's going to get sent to jail for 90 days, that's going to happen in the year 2042. And that's the time when this really becomes a problem. But any lawyer who really digs in and challenges this law is going to reverse it. It's just simply too vague, and it's too out there.
Speaking of challenging the law, have we seen anything similar like this before, or is this new territory here with this law in New Jersey?
And then they never.
Gloucester has copied some other municipalities and other cities' ordinances on this. They're the biggest city so far to have done this. Nobody has been charged yet under this law in Gloucester. It's a new provision, and that's probably why. So that's sort of the motion here, but. Small towns and cities and things like this, this is sort of what they'll do. They'll kind of throw it out there, and they'll throw out an ordinance that might feel good, but that may or may not be effective. And it probably will act to some degree as a deterrent for parents. But kind of talking about it earlier, in the instance of juvenile delinquents and in any parent who's ever dealt with an out of control teenager, it would certainly be very painful for the neighbors and the community to blame them when ultimately there's only so much that we're responsible for that our child does. And again, it's a very complicated and controversial topic, which really, of course, has a lot of different sides to it.
Has there been any discussion here on how it would be handled for children who may have a behavioral disorder, a minor?
Okay, this is how you solve this shit. I got the easy answer. Here's the easy answer. This is by far like the most easiest answer. You want to solve the problem? You want to act tough at night and vandalize and act like a fucking like a fucking idiot at night? Okay, get your ass right here, bend your ass right there. You're gonna get a couple of hits. There you go. There's your answer. Like you can't even put it around your neck. Like that's the answer. You can't even wear it as a tie. Like literally, you put like a little tie. They're like, oh, what's that? It's like that's the motherfucking answer. That's what it is. It's the belt, and like that. And anytime you're working down the street and a kid's acting crazy and shit like that, and the parents there with them, and they don't have a belt, just say, "Hey, ma'am, you need this? Here, take it. You're gonna need it." Whip that motherfucking ass. Like that's how you stop that. All that chaos, all that craziness. The parents need to be the ones as the punishers. Don't let it don't give that authority to the government, because the government does this. like how Trump does to Putin. No, don't do that to me, bitch. Don't come over here. Don't come over here. I tell you right now. This is the answer right here. This answers all bad kids in the streets doing crazy shit. All these delinquents acting like they're crazy. Okay, you want to act crazy? Here's some therapy. I'm gonna take some licks, and you're gonna change all your behavior real quick. Here, I'm gonna put it right over here. There, I solved the problem. We don't need to spend millions and millions of dollars and having all these laws and bullshit. No, give the authority to the parents. The parents do not get in trouble if they are properly like restructuring their kid and making them behave, punishing their kids. Like, even if it has to take that belt, so be it. The parents should not get in trouble for beating up their kids and punishing them. Like, no, like not to don't kill the kid. You know what I mean? It's not to permanently like brain damage the kid, but put some structure and some discipline into your kid. And sometimes fear works. Okay, fear does work. And I tell you right now, that belt fucking works. It works. So yeah. I remember my mom, she used to get the chancleta. La chancleta. Let's get the chancleta. Okay. So since you didn't have this, you don't have this available. Sometimes it's hard to get this, right? So let's put it back as a we did this in Puerto Rico. The chancleta, the slipper. And mothers know what this is. And trust me, all moms have used this before on their children. And I feel like this is very legal to do. It's a non-deadly weapon. The force of it is going to hurt, but it's not going to kill them. It's a very non-lethal way of punishing your child. The chancleta, aka slipper, sandal. I don't know. There's different words of it all over the world. In my native of Puerto Rico, la chancleta. This right here. And the good thing about this is it's so universal, right? It's so universal because you could hit them. You could put this part in their mouth to shut them the fuck up. And then you could use it as like a boomerang, like as a just throw the motherfucker. You throw it, and trust me, all moms have good aiming. They have good aiming. They will throw this sandal right at you, and you will fall. You will fall to the floor. That's the strength of that throw and the accuracy, and right in the back of the head, boop, you're falling down, and she's picking you up. And trust me, it's not a good thing. And never run away from your moms, because I'm telling you right now, moms have good accuracy. They will throw this at you, and they will nail you. This will be perfect. So this is very non-lethal. This could be lethal, but this is more of a capital punishment for parents, that if all like if all other things don't work, if this doesn't work, this is an upgrade, and this right here will fix any kid any day. This right here puts so much fear that, trust me, kids will change their ways. This too. Like, I even brought props. I even brought props for today's show. That's crazy. And they were all nearby too. Oh man. All right, let's see the comments. I'm sorry. I got into a rant there. It's the truth. I mean, you don't want to strike a kid or punch him or like physically hit him like that. You need to use like an item. So it's like they know when they have that item, they're gonna get beat. So my mom, she didn't care. She's even like break the branches from a tree to whip my ass with. So this is Puerto Rican mother, okay? She to grab the branches, take off the leaves, and like and became a switch. It's like, oh shit, like that's when you run. That's when you know you're really deep shit. Um, yeah, see, I'll be here. I used to get whippings with a belt when I messed around. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But the sandal, man, y'all laughing. That's funny. It worked for me. The belt, the threat of the belt worked. You know what I mean? Because after they get hit one time with that belt and they have a good ass cry, that gets like programmed into their brains and into the sensors that's in their brain, that if I get in and if I do something wrong or bad, that's the consequence, and the pain and the fear of getting that consequence, it makes them think twice. It really does. I threaten my grandkids with my slippers. Oh, you see, it works, and trust me, you got good ass accuracy. The more weight the sandal has, the more impact it's gonna have. And trust me, you don't want your mom to be walking around with some thick ass rubber like sandals as a kid, and you better be on your best behavior, because as soon as you're like doing something sideways, that chancleta was coming. And you don't want to mess with the chancleta. You don't want to mess with the slipper. You don't want to mess with the sandal. No, that's crazy. Oh no, Maggie's dying there. Don't die, Maggie. But thankfully, it doesn't happen often with me. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Don't remember getting one once. Yeah, all it takes is one. That's what I'm saying. A beat down with a chancleta or a belt to restructure. I feel like the parents should not get in trouble for that. If they have to put some authority behind their butt with the belt, I don't think parents should be like getting in trouble for marks like that on the butt. Like, because sometimes they'll leave like a red mark, or it does like break the skin, um depending on how hard you hit your kid. But I think that parents should not be getting in trouble for that, because I feel like if it's justified, then it's not a crime. That's disciplining. That I think that should be fair. You know what I mean? The government should not intervene in that when it comes to structuring your and correcting your child's behavior. And trust me, it needs to be done. Like it's just a brain thing, you know. It's something that it releases this other portion of your brain to like think things through. Don't do stupid shit because then you get stupid rewards. Um, it's wild. My mom, man, I'm telling you, when she was young, man, she looked like Mike Tyson to me. She was like Iron Mike Tyson, and I was like, hell no. I ran away a lot of times from that one. Oh no. That's how I built my speed and my dodging. Like with her, you have to like play like it's like life or death. It's like you gotta run. Oh goodness. Yeah, the teachers and the principals. I remember back in the days, back in and this is like early '80s. Um, the principal would hit you with the paddle for behaving bad or having fights, or like you would be sent to the principal office, and then depending on what you did and the evaluation of it, they determine if you get a paddle or you get like a stern warning. Usually the first time you get to the office, they'll give you a stern warning. The second time you get hit with the paddle. And he had a line of kids waiting to get hit. And you would hear it from the outside. It's like everyone that gets like you hear all the boys and girls. It's like they hit him with the paddle, and it was like a big ass paddle too. It looked like a croquette. You know how they play croquette, and they play like it's something like that. It's like a croquette paddle, and it's like they have a handle to it, and they go and they hit you, and they hit you with a follow through too, like tennis. It's like what the fuck is going on here? Like yeah, the principals used to and teachers used to hit the kids. Like used to bend them over with the paddle and discipline them. But nowadays they don't even do that. They send the kids home for a small vacation. They like suspend the kid, and the kid ends up at home on a small vacation playing video games at home while the parents are working. Like great punishment, right? What a punishment. Send the kid home for a week, suspend them for a week, and that's like a whole week vacation. Like they'll get the whatever work that they need to complete within that week. They'll send it like to him to get or her to get it done, so that way they still get the work done. But that's like a full week vacation. That's crazy. They end up playing video games and eating at home and chilling, and these kids, they that's not discipline. That's not discipline. Like if you're gonna like, I wouldn't send them home. I wouldn't like suspend them and send them home. I would suspend them and send them to uh like a disciplinary teacher. We had one in high school. They used to call it CSI. I don't know what the words were for that. It was just like a punishment. Like you had a strict ass teacher, and um and the people like would be sent to CSI, I was sent to CSI before, and my friends, because like the teacher was stupid, right? And the teacher got a little stupid, and I'm like, are you here to teach? Or are you here to fucking fight with us? And he sent me to CSI too, and not knowing that the CSI teacher, the disciplinary teacher, was one of my coaches. He was one of my coaches, and I think he was my bowling coach. He was my bowling coach, and he's like, Rick, what are you doing here? I go, man, the teacher was just wanted to argue and it was like in a bad mood and just taking it out on everybody. So like that teacher started sending everybody over here. So I was like, I might as well join because my friends are here. He was like, all right, just go sit over there and and that's it. That was just mostly to kill time with my friends most of the times. Like other than that, man, I didn't get in much in trouble. I was just that one time because he had an issue. That guy, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he forgot to wipe his ass or what, but he got really aggressive and shit. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what the hell you're on, but dude, I ain't putting up with that shit. Not from you, you know. But I'll never forget his name too. His name was Mr. Chernoff. Chernoff. He was a really bad, horrible Jewish teacher. He had no patience. The guy was like super impatient, but super dumb too. Like he was probably one of my dumbest teachers I've had. Crazy. Yeah, naughty class. Yeah, back in the day, yeah. When it got so bad that they suspend the kids, like if they did something really, really bad, they would send them to I forgot the name of, let me see if they still have it. Um it was like a punishment school. It was like a punishment school. But I forgot the name and how they call it. Um because I never went to it, so I wouldn't know. Where was that located? Okay, let me see if I can find it. See if they still have it. Man, the area where I used to live has changed so much. So much. Okay. So let me see if they have it. Man, they got Wawa over there. They got, man, back in Florida where I used to live, man, they getting all the good stuff. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. Third. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It would be around here unless they don't have it anymore. But it was like a school, but for the bad kids. I guess they made it. I don't know if they changed it or what. I'm not sure, but they used to have it out there, and it was mostly for disciplinary to get the kids disciplined, and it wasn't like a easy place to go to. Man, but they got so much over there. I wonder if the BJ's is still there. Oh no, they changed it. They made it into a school. It's a middle school. Yeah, they changed the. It used to be a BJ's, right? And they turned it into a charter school, academic charter school for middle and high school. So it's middle and high school. I used to walk these streets. I used to walk these streets. Good food. Like, sometimes you, like, take things for granted, you know? And, man, I'm looking at the food that I used to eat while I was down there. It looks so good. It's making me want to take a trip, a reminiscent trip, to go back to the places where I used to, my stopping grounds, the schools that I went to, a lot of places, man. There's a lot of okay. Sorry about that. It's just reminiscing the past, you know, and the food down in South Florida is so much better than it is up north here. Um, Over here, there's not that much variety. I mean, you have food, but it's not like South Florida, because South Florida has like more flavor, more, I guess, more passion. Up here, they're just like, fuck it, you know. You can tell the difference. But the places where I used to go and eat, you know what? I'm gonna do a trip down to Florida. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to fly in and go for about a week. I think a week is good enough. I mean, I'll gain about 10 pounds in a week in Florida. Oh Lord! But I think it'll be a good thing to do, you know, because I think I think it's time to do it. Just go for 1 week and check out the food places that I used to go and eat. And I'm gonna be so sad when I leave, because the food is great. Yeah, right. Freak it and enjoy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take a trip down to Florida. Um, Maybe next year. I don't know about this year, but definitely next year. Okay, let's go. Let's go to another story here. Let's check this story out, because I had this one open, and then I got one more of Tyson De La Cruz. He's a friend of the show, so we're gonna check that out, and then I'm gonna check the system to see if we get any updates on the storm. So let's check out this story.
Jussie Smollett is doubling down on his claim that he was the victim of a racist and homophobic attack by two
I
MAGA
love good food.
supporters
I love
in
Spanish
Chicago.
food.
This was 6
Maggie, you
years
should
ago.
come.
Despite being found guilty in a court of law
You should
and
come,
being sent
Maggie.
to prison. Let's take a look back.
Listen,
Here
1
is the
week.
surveillance video capturing that moment before
You have to
the
come.
staged attack, which happened a little after 1
You have to
a.m.
come at least
All
next year.
claims from Smollett were eventually debunked, and he was charged with staging a hate crime 2 years later. The charges were later overturned by the Illinois Supreme Court on due process grounds. Now, in this new interview, this one's with Variety, Smollett took no issue pointing the finger of blame at others, telling the outlet, quote, "The villains are the two people who assaulted me, the Chicago Police Department, and if I may be so brave, the mayor. Every single other person's story has changed multiple times. Mine never has. I have nothing to gain from this. Tommy.
Oh, this is hilarious. Still holding on. You know, you have to give him credit because he's just going to triple down. He just claims that this happened to him and he's never going to let it go. And now he's got, you know, a budding reality TV career. What he should be saying is, I'm so sorry. And you could gain a little bit of compassion from the public if you just came out and said, I'm so sorry that I did this. It was for fame and attention. And I so apologize for everybody's time that I wasted for a fake hate crime. But it's pretty clear that he's learned nothing. And he might also just be so full of himself that he will never issue that apology.
And I think about the brothers who were claimed that they were a part of this. They were brought into this scheme, that they were actors in sort of this skit, and where they are today as he continues this story that they attacked him.
They like told the truth, and everybody believes them. And the first thing that I thought of was,
I had that in the hospital. They had to put a tube
2019
in me
and
to feed me.
Jesse Smollett is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. Praying for quick recovery. So obviously, keeping a tweet up and making up a whole hate crime hoax is like different, but maybe same church, different pew type thing. But they're both sticking to their guns.
So who wants to watch?
They had to feed me
and,
through
and
a tube.
I think there must be a huge audience for.
That shit was
I guess,
horrible.
his
They put it
comeback or
through.
something. Fox has a new show on. He's going to be part of the celebrity where they learn the special forces moves. I think this one's set in Morocco, where they compete to see, as he has said, how comfortable he can be in uncomfortable
They
situations.
put a pick line
all that
on
court.
me on my arm.
But I am curious.
Yeah,
And that's
there's a
how they fed me.
documentary on Netflix coming out. He's there he is with Variety, kind of teasing his future. And Tommy, I think you had a great point. Like, is he now a reality star? Is he now kind of this odd personality, or are people still rehashing and thinking about what happened here and have doubt?
Maybe both.
Well, I think the New York Post columnist who wrote about this answered it best, saying that he is a truth challenge stab at relevancy. But to Tommy's point, he's on this actual show.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is Carly's point about Kamala Harris tweeted, "This is a modern day lynching."
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it turned out
That was the tweet I thought
it was
you
a
were gonna
lie.
read.
Yeah, but they put that
Go to
line.
2 a.m.
Oh
for
my
a
God, that
Subway
was so
sandwich in a
painful.
polar vortex and paid 2 Nigerians to beat him up and yell MAGA. Like, the fact that anyone will take him seriously is beyond me.
And the MAGA insert, I think, drew in that political part of all of this. It helped ramp that up at the time 6 years
well,
ago.
It's
Yeah,
set in Chicago. That didn't help. Look, nobody does reality like Fox Broadcast. So whatever it is, it's going to be watched.
I'll be watching.
Yeah. See, there you go.
For him and others. A lot of other great folks on that show as well.
You got that right.
Hey, it's Will Kane.
right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News.
I don't care about the Jesse Smollett guy. The guy's a clown. But yeah, I remember the pick line when they put it on my arm. They put it on this side, and the thing is that I had to do two. I had to do because they had to replace the pick line. So I had it on this side, and then I had it on this side, and then they put it right in the arm in here. And then they had to take me to a special. It's kind of like it literally is like a little small operation. To be honest with you, it's they take you. Well, my hospital, they take you to this room, and they have it's kind of like an X-ray room, but it's also X-ray and where the surgical part. So they prepped me up for all the stuff, cleaned my arm, cleaned all that stuff, and then had the X-ray thing go, and then they went in and found where the main the main artery vein, and went in, and that was the painful part. Oh, that was so painful. And once they got it in, I was like, oh. She's like, you're gonna trust me. You're gonna feel better once you get upstairs and they put the medicine in you. I guarantee you, all that pain will go away. I was like, you sure? Because it fucking hurts. So once they took me out, and I was in the stretcher, so they rolled me up. They took me back to my room. I love my nurse. My nurse had my medicine ready. She's like, as soon as you get here, Rick, I know. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna get you with the medicine, and you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna take a nap, and you feel better. You know, you won't be that much pain. I was like, okay. So as soon as I got to the room, They adjusted my bed, put me where I am because it's a private room, so I don't share the room. That's why I like my hospital that I go to because it's private rooms. You don't share rooms. So they set me up, put my television on. Usually I had the Weather Channel playing, and my nurse is right there. She's like, I'm here. I was like, yes, thank you so much. So she would come, she would flush out the line, and she's like, oh, this is awesome. This is good. Now here comes the medicine. First, I'm going to give you these medicines, chi, and then this is the one for pain. And it was the oxen. And yeah, so they come and hit me up on that line, and holy smokes, when I say fast, like that, like quick, super quick, the medicine got in, and I was like, woo. It's like, how you feeling? I go, I feel so much better. I had no pain at all. I was like, oh wow. She's like, okay, I'll be here every 4 hours to give you that medicine. I was like, okay, thank you. And it's like, oh, they brought you lunch. I remember because they had brought me lunch. Like, I had my lunch tray, and it was good hospital food. So can't really complain, you know. Uh, just reminiscing with the hospital drives me crazy because that's like, it's like points of my life, you know. That one I went in for, it was for my stomach. I had a surgery that they had to go into my stomach. They had to cut out a lot of stuff from within. Surgery that took, it was supposed to take an hour, ended up being over 8 hour surgery. It was like about 8 hour surgery. Like I didn't get back into my room. It was like close to like 3:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Like the doctor was like, it was a crazy surgery, and he had to call in like reinforcements to come in, and it was a lot of work. When he came to talk to me, he was like, I'm gonna see you in the morning, but it was a lot we had to do. So I made sure I got the nurse. I told her to give you the medicine, for pain and stuff, um, and I'm gonna come back. I'll be back here in the morning to talk to you more. I was like, okay. So right after the doctor walked out, the nurse came right in with the medicine. She was like walking in with the syringe, and I was like, "That's for my pain." She's like, "Yep. Here's some medicine for your sleep and some for your pain." Put it in, and I was knocked the fuck out. I was so tired from the surgery, and I fell asleep. But when they put that medicine in you, it really kills the pain, and you're feeling good for that moment, But the hard part is when you wake up like 3.5 hours later because the pain is kicking in, and you feel it, and you're like, oh shit, fuck. And then you call for the nurse at like, early in the morning, and she already knows that when I'm calling is for the pain, so she usually comes in with the pain medicine. So it was really cool. I had a really cool nurse. She was very attentive. And she knew every time I called, it was like every time it was like that 3 hour, 45 minute mark, I would be calling her. And so she knows that, it's reaching that 4 hour mark that I needed the medication again. It sucks, but yeah, that's just part of life. Sometimes, you're dealt with these cards, and you just try to make something out of it. It's not easy. Not easy when you're in the hospital. I have so much stories from hospitals. I've been there so many times. But we're gonna go on to, let's see, the last show Actually, let's get a recap on the hurricane before, because I want to leave Tyson for last. So let's take a look at the hurricane and what it's looking like right now. So this is what it's looking like. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that storm. Now, what we're looking at here is Puerto Rico. This is Puerto Rico right here. And this is Vieques. This is Culebra. So Vieques is the island where the military, you got the U.S. military, the Air Force are stationed there. But look at like how it looks like a conch shell. You see how it's like wrapping in? It's doing like one of these like wraparounds. This is going to go through an eye wall replacement. That's what it's looking like, because it's the way the flow is going, and it's coming in like this. Is going through an eye wall replacement. So that means all this is going to be pushed outwards, and a new eye is going to develop. This eye is going to collapse, and then another one is going to form, and that's just going to gradually weaken the system for a little, but then it's going to intensify even stronger. So this system looks crazy, man. It really does. Let's see. We're going to set up for Tyson de la Cruz now, because that's the last for now. I'm not going to be on later. This is the only show that I'm doing for now. I'll be back here tomorrow, because tonight I'm going to be watching some wrestling. Got some Spanish wrestling, AAA wrestling. You can watch it on YouTube. It will be televised on YouTube. So I'll be watching that tonight. So without further ado, yeah, that storm is huge. And it's only going to get bigger, too. They said it's going to get bigger. It's a category 4, high 4, low 5. I think it's about a 5 now. Let me see if we got any news on it. Give me one sec. Okay, yeah, there is some news on it. So let me set it up for us. Gotta set it up. Gotta set it up. Let me set it up. Okay, so here we go. Let's see some news. The last news feed for the hurricane, Erin. We're gonna watch it right now. Okay, one sec. And this is Fox Weather.
We're back on Fox Weather Live, bringing you a look at San Juan, Puerto Rico, where
Puerto Rico! That's San Juan.
Too bad of a day. However, if you look off into the distance, you've got the ferocity of what is Hurricane Erin, now a major Category 5 hurricane that is barreling down and closer to Puerto Rico at this moment. Now, at its closest pass, it still should remain at least 150 nautical miles north of Puerto Rico, but it is a larger storm, especially in regards to the
closer than it was
right now,
projected.
we just have tropical storm watches for portions of the Caribbean and into the Western Antilles here, or areas of Anguilla out towards
Nice
St.
to have you
Martin.
on the chat.
Now we also have Robert Ray, who is
I
sitting
think tomorrow I'm gonna do an early
British Virgin
show
Islands,
too.
and then out towards
So
Puerto Rico, where we're expecting to see a lot
stay
more
tuned.
of the surf and the wind really start to be a larger factor here. Now, what's been really interesting to watch for Erin over the last 24 hours, really,
It's a Category 5?
An intense moment for this storm.
Wait, did it
rapidly
upgrade
intensified
to
from a
Category
1
5?
to a Category 5. Now, the National Hurricane Center was predicting at least Category 3, Category 4 a few days out before reaching this proximity to the Dominican, out towards Turks and Caicos. But the fact that it was able to gain strength so fast and keep a southerly track a little longer than what was initially forecasted could mean some additional concerns for Turks and Caicos, and you bring things out to the Bahamas as well, where the surf and the rip currents may be a little worse than what was initially projected. So just things to keep in mind as we monitor its continued west movement.
For the time being, Erin is still expected to maintain its strength, if not wobble a little bit, as it could potentially undergo an eye wall replacement cycle. Now, what's going to happen, though, is while, yes, we'll see some weakening as it turns north, it's still going to remain as a major hurricane. And so that is going to mean big impacts for locations all across the east coast of the United States. If we look
It's saying it's
specifically
Category
into portions
5.
of the Northern Caribbean, the wind chances here, when you're
Yeah.
in this green
It's a Category 5
area,
hurricane.
this is like a percentage here of being able to see tropical storm force winds. Northern Island of the Dominican Republic, you have
Puerto
about
Rico's
a
going to
10
feel
to
some of
20%
it.
chance, I would say, at seeing over 40-mile-per-hour wind speeds. If you head out towards Puerto Rico, just offshore, you could encounter winds of 30 to 40 mile or 30 to 40% chance of seeing that 40 mile per hour wind speed. So just things to keep in mind as it continues to move. Those percentages could shift a little bit. The Fox model, which historically has done quite well in regards to tropical systems, has that northerly shift really starting to come into play by tomorrow, really tomorrow morning heading into the afternoon. By no means does that mean we won't see tropical rain and some heavy rain at that, which could increase the risk of landslides, mudslides for Puerto Rico. And a lot of these islands, too, they have gorgeous terrain, but when you have a lot of the mountains, it can create some additional concerns for some flooding at the base of those mountains. The elevation for Puerto Rico ranges from sea level all the way up to about 4,300 feet up into the air. So it also can squeeze out a little extra moisture, especially with all that tropical moisture.
I have family that lives in the
into
mountains in
system,
Puerto Rico.
coming from the south, and it's that warm and moist
When
air.
I go,
Actually,
I
the
always
southern
stay
half
in
of
the
system has
mountain.
been a lot more robust in terms of the convective development if you compare it to the northern side of the storm. So a few things to keep in mind. We're also talking about flood alerts for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. This will take you through Monday, really the entirety
I have
of them
family
almost
here
under those flood
in
watches.
Guayama.
We're expecting
I have
most
family
likely
here
about 4
in
inches of
Bayamón.
rain, but certainly some spots could see more.
I have family
When we
in
talk about the
Ponce.
valleys, things all begin to accumulate at the bottom. So
I have
maybe you don't
family
see
all
4
over the
inches,
place
but the
here.
accumulation effect of this all
But I
could be on
usually
the
stay
order
here.
of 4+ inches.
When I go to Puerto Rico, I usually stay here.
And the core of Erin is expected to pass just north of the northeastern Caribbean islands, but some impacts are
Yeah, this should
expected
be
this
fine.
weekend from Puerto Rico to
It's just a lot
Anguilla.
of rain.
Fox Weather hurricane specialist was on Weather Command weekend earlier this morning, Brian Norcross, and he talked about how the storm will potentially develop.
Let's look at it close up here where you can really see the islands and you can see the eye. Look at that. It's just one of those pictures that you see of a hurricane in a book look like, or it's really very, very. And the news
I don't
is
know what's going
that
on
the
here.
strongest winds are very tightly contained. A wind you see here these bands. See this strong band of thunderstorms here.
It's a feeder
and then
band.
We're going to have another one back over here. So these are going to come through the islands, and they are going to know
Dump
there's
a lot of
hurricane
rain.
out there. Take a look here when we look at the radar, where it's in radar range out of San Juan. Now the radar is right about there in Puerto Rico.
Wow,
on
it
top of
dipped
the mountain.
south.
So it's a long ride for the beam.
dipped a little
all the way
south.
out to the hurricane. So it's only seeing the very tops of it. That's why it doesn't look very strong out there. Same thing over here over the northern Leeward Islands. You see all these yellows and oranges popping up here. Well, what that tells you is they have to be super high in the atmosphere in order for the beam coming all
Wow,
the
they're
way
getting a
from
lot
Puerto
of
Rico
rain.
to see them. So when those go over, there are real downpours going on these islands, and they have left up the tropical storm watch for a couple of these islands. And here the local governments there make that decision, or the controlling governments there make that decision. No watches for any kind of wind on the islands, but they are going to get downpours starting early today coming this way. But the bigger effect on the islands is going to be when this tail here that wraps up
It's gonna be major flooding in Puerto Rico.
This tail is coming
Major.
this way too. It'll come through the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. That'll be
Yeah,
tonight
internet
and
be acting
tomorrow.
weird.
So they have flood watches and so forth in effect. Here you can see on the widest view of the radar, there's a tail out here. You just can't see it very well because it's so far from the radar, but it's going to take.
So you see how Puerto Rico is lined up? This is going to be devastating for Puerto
This is going
Rico.
to affect the islands, Puerto
as far
Rico,
as
the
like
Virgin Islands,
flooding
and
is
various
concerned.
other Caribbean islands. All right, why don't they have tropical storm watches up for the for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands? You might wonder, with a Category 4 hurricane that close. Well, when they do the calculation of the wind, where are the strongest winds?
Breaking
This
news.
appears where the strongest winds are. They're mostly north of the
There
storm.
is now
And you see the odds
a Category
of
5
having,
hurricane.
tropical storm force winds in Puerto Rico are down in the 5 to 10%
It's
range.
not a 4,
So they don't
it's a
put
5
up a watch
now.
for very low odds. But there will be gusts with those downpours.
This is
So
breaking
you're
news.
going to know there's a big storm out there, but not the continuous
Winds
wind
are
that
up to
people have the watches
160
for.
miles per
All right,
hour.
let's look farther ahead now.
Oh my
And
goodness.
boy, are we lucky. I don't know, a whole lot of lucky people.
This was earlier
have,
today.
gotten
You can
together
see it
here,
says
and this
earlier.
thing is going to go up between
So this is
the
before
US
the new
and
report
Bermuda.
came
Now,
out.
obviously, in Bermuda, it's closer.
You
They
see
are
it says
going to have to
earlier.
watch it. They're also on the stronger
So
side
this
of
is
the
a
storm. But look
early
at
of
this. They've got up to
it's
150.
pre-recorded.
Now,
This
slowly
is not live.
weakening, but growing in
Let me
size.
see if we can
Remember,
go
the
live.
cone
can leave, but
Here
we
we go.
don't know if that's going to be possible.
This is
because
live.
of what may happen with this little southern jog and the winds and everything. So we have a flight booked tomorrow and on Monday, just in case, from here to Atlanta, and then Atlanta into Charleston, which is the region that we will likely be in. And then we'll have Fox weather teams up and down the eastern seaboard as well.
Gearing up for what the impacts will be for Hurricane Erin here. And good luck getting out. I know that can be a big struggle, not only for you, but all the tourists in the area who are moving out and about across the summer months. Fox Weather's Robert Ray, thanks so much. We take you now out to the hill country. This is some of the video that was
Wow, this
taken
Texas.
from the deadly flash flooding event that took place in the hill country back on July 4th weekend. Truly hard to even
Oh yeah,
wrap
that's
your
the one
mind
that killed
around. It is known
160,
as Flash Flood
170.
Alley across
I think like
central
300
Texas. It
people
was
are
hit
dead
so hard by the flooding, and a lot of that was actually
from that
exacerbated
flooding.
by some tropical moisture that was getting pulled in with a landfalling tropical system that made landfall into Mexico. But the moisture transport created the heavy downpours.
Yeah, I wouldn't fly in that hurricane. You know the turbulence in that?
Byrne, who is live in Kerrville, Texas.
But
As
there's planes
residents
in
are
there that are
continuing to
taking
rebuild, you mentioned at the top of the
samples.
hour, still haven't accounted for all of the missing quite yet, which is hard to really think about. And then you talk about the chance for more rain. The good news is a lot of this so far has been fairly isolated, so it seems like that flash flood threat is starting to get dialed back, but still a lot of anxiety around flash flooding in the area, I can imagine.
Definitely, Haley. Anytime those alerts come through, I think it's just a reminder for people who live here of what happened a month ago, over a month ago now, 6 weeks since that catastrophic flooding. And now there's still a search happening for two people who are still missing, a man in his 60s and a young girl only 8 years old, the last missing camper from Camp Mystic. So more rain in the forecast only complicates the search efforts and the debris removal that's still very much a priority on the ground. But while we're here, we have Kevin LaFond with us. He is the regional commander for the United Cajun Navy, and there's still very much an effort on the ground from a lot of different units, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've been here for 6 weeks, and over the past several days, as the cleanup goes on, all these piles of debris, they all have to be touched and moved. And as that happens, we get new intelligence in from locals here that tell us new information, find new pieces of potential evidence of where people could be. And so now we've got a couple of new spots that we have to get out there and check. So the past couple of days, I ran home, picked up our command center. It's loaded with technology that's going to help us go and investigate those places in detail. And we're hoping for a good outcome. We know SEAL's missing. We've got an older gentleman missing as well. And we do have intel on both of those people right now. So in the coming days, we're going to be working very hard to explore those areas in detail.
I think hearing that has to be so encouraging for the families of the missing and for so many people who are hooked on this story, trying to know and follow what's been happening. I mean, what has it been like in the last few weeks while, maybe not as many media are around, but this work is still happening?
Oh, absolutely. It goes on and on and on. We bring drones out, dogs out, boats out, whatever it takes. But right now, it's about finding targets to look at. So
Wow.
we have to cull through all the
They
information
still
that's
looking for
coming in,
people
and then get out
after
to those
6
locations that
weeks.
seem most promising, and then we'll work our way down the priority list from there. But just
There's
because you
still
don't
a
hear
lot
about
of
it doesn't
people
mean it's
they
not
need to
going
find.
on. We've been here since 6 hours after,
That's
and we're going
crazy.
to stay here. We've told Texas and the people of Kirk County that we've got your back, and we do. We're always going to be part of this community from now and forever.
This rain that we're watching in the forecast today, fueled by tropical moisture, which also was the case with that catastrophic flooding we had. What is it like monitoring the rain during such a desperate search?
Well, like you guys, we've got meteorologists as well, so they're on staff and they're watching both Erin and this invest that's coming up now. It's throwing these clouds up our way, so it's important to get back here before that happens so we can monitor the situation.
Yeah, Erin's
closely.
not going to be
If
a
something
deal
should
for
change
Texas.
and the weather should cause issues here, we're already on scene. Our teams are stood up, so there's a little extra layer of protection there maybe. But being here during this time when we've got this strange soup in the atmosphere, it's important. But again, it is hampering efforts today. We can't get tracked vehicles out there like we usually do. And it does mess things up when it comes to
That was
to
a
dogs and
big
scent.
flooding
So
event,
we're gonna have to
man.
wait for today to pass, and instead we're
Yeah.
gonna work with the community today. A couple of great events going
Crazy.
on, and we're gonna be out there to support them and other local first responders.
This is critical information. Thank you so much for sharing this with us and getting this out there. I mean, very much a real search effort still happening here.
It
And the
happened on the
weather
4th
is
of
just something
July.
that they are taking into account each day. I'll send it back to you.
That was crazy.
Yeah, Katie, being in Kerrville, covering some of the flooding, it's the soil there. It's so thick, especially when you get a lot of excess rain. So that's only making some of these recovery efforts worse. So thanks so much for your report and being our boots on the ground.
That's horrible.
Bringing things back out to the Northern Caribbean. This is from St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Heavy rain that has fallen. We've been speaking to Robert Ray twice an hour, getting his take on the evolution of the conditions there. He said the rain was a little hard and fast yesterday.
Wow, it's
and
moving
there
west
is
at
this
17.
eerie calm before the intense storm that
It's not
comes in.
moving any
Robert is
north
right here,
yet.
and the intensity, this center of circulation for Erin, should make a pass, I would say, about
It's only a little
150 or
north.
so nautical miles
It moved
north
up a little north.
of St. Thomas and even from Puerto Rico. But the latest advisory, this is 11 a.m. advisory, coming
Says
in
west,
as a
but I think it
Category
moved up a little
5
north.
major hurricane. Now, the reason why they
I
did
see
this
it.
actually is because of the hurricane hunters. Now, this plane has since returned back home, but their mission was low-level investigation. We had a secondary plane that was flying around the storm. They make multiple passes through the center. And their goal was storm position. So many different people tackling this storm from all different angles here. And they actually captured this image. Now, it's truly incredible to see this. And the vantage point of a hurricane hunter is the most
I'm sure they captured more images
beautiful thing
than
to
just
see, but also
this.
the scariest thing to see. They travel through so much turbulence, and you can even see that here. This is when they're traveling through the eye wall. You can see all of the intense convection. You can't even see the sky, just covered in thick storm clouds. And look at the surf beneath it, the waves jostling things around. Wave estimates would be over 10, maybe 15 feet even as you get close to the center. And then the calm. And that's the crazy thing with a hurricane and its development. It creates this area right in the middle, that area of low pressure. And seemingly it's beautiful, bright, sunny skies. And then around it is the chaos that ensues from a tropical storm. Now, the way things are going to be moving for Erin, it will continue to move west, hopefully starting to take that northwest turn within the next little bit here. But it has enough energy to work with. Everything is still working for this storm to maintain major hurricane status as it tracks north. Now, notice we have a much narrower cone here throughout the rest of this weekend going into Monday. Then we start to see that spread really come in. So for the U.S., yes, we're still going to be experiencing impacts with rip currents and beach erosion. That's going to be the big focus here as we move forward into next week. For Bermuda,
I'm
we
glad
still
it's not
can't
coming to
completely
me.
rule out a landfalling system or this getting
I
a
hope
little
it
bit
doesn't.
closer. So if you have, let's say, any
I hope
kind
that cone
of
doesn't change.
cruise line planned or you're going to Bermuda, you will be there. They are well fortified for this sort of thing. However, it is just something we need to keep in mind as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's wild.
Coming up next on Fox Weather Live, Hurricane Erin and its movements. We'll be right back.
So we'll stop it here, and then we're gonna go back to me, and then we're gonna set up for the last show of this morning's show and for the day, because I'm not gonna be back on until tomorrow. I want to see if I can do an early show tomorrow. So hopefully Maggie could come through. Well, she could be in the chat. It's good energy when you come. You know, I feel good when you're here. But a lot of my shows I've been doing it at night, so it's like I've been doing it like a 8 at night, 7 at night. So it's like already too late for you. You be sleeping and dreaming and snorting and farting, and it's okay. But I want to keep at least the weekends to come on early. I want to at least a few days to come early and do an early show, and that show will carry on just for the day because I'm not coming back on later. I'm watching wrestling tonight. I want to see the AAA wrestling they're showing on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube. All you got to go is to AAA Wrestling, and it's a Mexican wrestling tonight. So that's what it has a couple of WWE wrestlers in the event. So that's why I want to watch it to see the production and so forth. I know it's going to be pretty good. So I'll be entertained with that. Yeah, I'm gonna come on early tomorrow, so that way, you could come and watch, and if Daryl wants to watch, and Darren, I know he's going through he's going through so much, man. But he's a fighter. Surely is a fighter. All right, let's go ahead and watch the last show of the Sanocast. Tyson De La Cruz.
City leaders tout a reduction in violent crime. Some residents argue, though, the numbers don't tell the full story.
America, we just uncovered one of the most disgusting examples of
I'm gonna get him on the show.
manipulation you'll ever see. While Baltimore politicians brag
I'm
about
gonna bring
having
him on.
the lowest homicide rate in 50 years, a 13-year-old with 18 prior felony
I don't know
arrests
if we should
just
get him
got
on
caught
early.
committing more armed robberies.
Maybe,
Get
maybe.
this, while
Maybe I got
wearing an ankle monitor. But here's the real scandal. Baltimore systematically downgrading violent crimes to misdemeanors, refusing to prosecute 67% of arrests, and manipulating statistics to make their failed leadership look successful. Meanwhile, residents are developing PTSD from living in their own neighborhoods, while politicians claim everything is fine.
Tonight, Baltimore police say that they've arrested a 13-year-old in connection with the
Maggie,
spree of violent
that's so
crime,
funny.
targeting
So
3
cute.
locations
Oh, I
in a
enjoy
2-day
her.
period last month. The
I think
teen has
she's a good
18
one,
prior
but-
felony arrests and was wearing an ankle monitor
But
when he was
remember
arrested
me
this time.
and
What is
my
up, guys?
slippers.
Tyson
Yeah,
De La
the
Cruz here.
slippers.
Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly what happens when politicians care more about their image than protecting the people who elected them. Baltimore is cooking the books while children terrorize the streets. Let me start with the story that perfectly illustrates Baltimore's complete breakdown in law and order. Police just arrested a 13-year-old for armed carjackings and robberies. But here's the kicker. This kid already has 18 prior felony arrests and was wearing an ankle monitor when he committed these new crimes.
According to police, this boy is no stranger to law enforcement, so young with an extensive record that includes felonies out on the streets. But tonight, he's arrested again, accused of more violent crimes.
Think about this for a second. A 13-year-old with 18 felony arrests. That means this kid has been committing serious crimes since he was probably 10, 11 years old. And Baltimore's quote-unquote justice system has been releasing him over and over again. The pattern is always the same. As one victim explained, I heard about the diversion program that they've been having with the youth. Basically, they're going in, coming out, going in, and coming out without any consequences.
I heard about like the diversion program that they've been having with youth. Basically, they're going in and coming out and going in and coming out without any consequence. And I'm like, what's the point?
What is the point indeed? This kid was caught using his ankle monitor GPS to commit crimes because he knew that there would be no real consequences. One expert put it, they have no real consequences because if you have an ankle monitor on, you don't care that you're at the GPS location of the crime because you're going to get diverted and you're going to go in and you're going to come right back out. Now, guys, here's where Baltimore's leadership really gets discussed. While a 13-year-old with 18 felony arrests terrorizes the streets, Mayor Brandon Scott is bragging about crime statistics that are completely fabricated.
We have the fewest amount of homicides through this date on record. That's
50 years, a 50-year low. And maybe we are too far gone from the broken right-wing policies of zero tolerance policing and all the things that did not make our city safer.
Scott claims Baltimore has had the fewest amount of homicides through this date on record. That's 50 years, a 50-year low. But here's what he's not telling you. They're systematically downgrading violent crimes to make these numbers look better. They're going into police computer systems and changing violent felonies to misdemeanors. Domestic violence gets downgraded to quote-unquote disputes. Gang violence becomes neighborhood conflicts. Armed robberies get classified as simple thefts. This is a pattern of practice ordered from the top to make politicians look good.
Baltimore is the safest it's been in over 50 years. Homicides are down 28% this year alone, reaching the lowest level of any year on record.
Brandon Scott keeps repeating that Baltimore is the safest it's been in over 50 years, and homicides are down 28% this year alone. But when you have 13-year-olds with 18 felony arrests running wild with ankle monitors, how safe does that really sound? Now, here's the dirty little secret Baltimore doesn't want you to know. Prosecution rates have been declining for years. The U.S. Attorney's Office is declining cases. And when they do prosecute, it's usually plea bargain deals that reduce charges to minimal sentences. The court system is designed to reduce statistics. Judges and prosecutors are working together to lower crime rates on paper while the actual crime continues to terrorize communities.
She was coming out of the house and she goes, and look at that. So it's the drug dealers. And she goes, oh, there's no way somebody's going to buy. Scared.
Crime, bad schools, and high property taxes are driving people out of the area.
The real impact is clear when you talk to the residents of Baltimore. One homeowner trying to sell her house had a realtor tell her, there's no way that nobody's going to buy a house here. There's crime, bad schools, and high property taxes are driving people out of the area. But here's the most telling statistic. Baltimore has the largest police shortage in 50 years. They're short a lot of officers while claiming crime is down. How can you properly investigate crimes when you don't have enough cops?
Ben Frederick is a real estate consultant who says there are far more people attempting to leave the city than move into the city. And one of the key motivators, he says, is the city's soaring property tax.
Property values in Baltimore are now 59% less than surrounding counties. That is definitely not a sign that the city is getting safer. Here's what's really happening. Massive underreporting of crimes due to multiple factors that Baltimore's leadership refuses to acknowledge. Victims aren't reporting crimes because they've given up on police response. People are afraid of reporting crimes because it will raise their insurance premiums. Undocumented victims avoid police contact. Witnesses are afraid of retaliation in gang-controlled areas.
None of my family come down here.
In South Baltimore, it's high taxes and high crime that has some homeowners convinced they may never be able to sell.
Sometimes I'm just ready to walk away from here.
Here's what one resident had to say. None of my family come down here. In South Baltimore, it's high taxes and high crime that has homeowners convinced that they may never be able to sell their home. Sometimes I'm just ready to walk away from here. That's the real Baltimore. Residents are so afraid their own families won't visit, homeowners ready to abandon their properties, and the city is hemorrhaging population while politicians claim that everything's okay. President Trump called Baltimore's situation exactly right when he said the city is so far gone. Listen to what he had to say.
You look at Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone.
Look at Chicago, how bad it is. Look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. Mayor Scott's response was typical Democrat deflection. We all know this is a distraction. The president doesn't want American people to hear him answer questions about the economy.
We all know this is a distraction. The president does not want the American people to hear him answer questions about the economy or the Epstein files or that the country has lost its state in the world.
Distraction when 13-year-olds have 18 felony arrests and are committing armed robberies while wearing ankle monitors. That's not a distraction. That is a complete failure of governance. America, Baltimore perfectly illustrates how Democrat politicians manipulate crime statistics while their city collapses. collapses. They downgrade felonies to misdemeanors, refuse to prosecute arrests, and claim victory while residents flee in terror. When you have 13-year-olds with 18 prior felony arrests committing armed robberies while wearing ankle monitors, that's not a justice system. That's a revolving door that treats criminals like customers instead of threats to public safety. Real indicators tell the truth. Emergency room admissions for violence, insurance claims for property damage, business closures, and population flight. Baltimore residents developing PTSD from living in their own neighborhoods, while politicians brag about fake statistics. Trump was absolutely right. Some cities are too far gone and they need federal intervention. When local leadership completely abandons their responsibility to protect citizens, when they care more about political image than public safety, that's when the federal government needs to step in. The people of Baltimore deserve better than leaders who cook the books while children terrorize streets. They deserve prosecutors who actually prosecute, judges who actually impose real consequences, and politicians who prioritize public safety over political theater. This is what happens when you elect leaders who care more about statistics than safety, more about image than actual reality. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comments section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Good reporting, right? Don't you like his reporting? I really like his reporting a lot. And he'll be on this show. I have connections with him, so it's really cool to have someone that you know and then bring him onto the show, and then you'd be like, holy shit. Oh, and then we could just talk and have a little one-to-one. I think it'd be something interesting. It'll be very interesting. And then we could do some psychic stuff with him because I would love to do a reading for him, right, Maggie? I already know he's going to be very successful. I already seen it. I seen it a long time ago. Like, the kid's going to be like very magical. He's going to have so much subscribers. Like, I could see him having like over 250,000 easy. I could see him having that high number. His reporting is very clean. His editing is very clean. Very smooth talker. And you'll see when I bring him onto the show, you'll be like, oh shit, he's been on my show before, like a while back, but I'm gonna bring him back on here, and then we'll have a one-to-one where I could pick that mind. I could pick at his mind with my mind over my matter. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good, to have good people, good friends, and have people that are pretty successful. And I could see his success, and I could see that he's going to continue to grow and develop more, and he's in a good road, like the golden road. He's like right up the golden road. Yeah, it's just, I'm gonna go now. Some stuff I want to take care of today and be out for a little bit. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna come on early. I want to have an early show because tonight, after the wrestling, I'll fall asleep. And whenever I think, what's 11 a.m. was good. I mean, if I could do like 10 or 11 around those between those two times, I would like to come on tomorrow and do an hour or two show, and then that'll be the show for the day. Because the weekend, I want to do it early. I think the weekends should be early. I mean, it gives Maggie a reason to come on at least two times, a week. Because the other days, I tend to do it in the evening. or if something breaks out, like if something big happens, which Monday probably be a day that I'll probably do an early show, which I'll probably come on maybe, I don't know how early on Monday, because Zelensky is coming to the White House. He's coming to Washington D.C. So I got to cover that. So I got to. I'm gonna come on early, and we're gonna see if Zelensky comes wearing a suit. What are the odds? What are the odds of Zelensky coming to the White House wearing a suit? Because this is something that's worth wearing a suit for. You know, it's something that you want peace. You don't listen. Ceasefire is just something temporarily. They want peace. Okay, they will want to bypass the ceasefire because it makes common sense if there's a peace deal that also includes a full ceasefire because it's a peace deal. So they don't just want a deal just for a ceasefire. No, that's stupid. That's why, like what happened yesterday, I knew there wasn't going to say nothing about a ceasefire and stuff like that because it's not about ceasefiring. It's about peace and pursuing peace. It said it right in the back of fucking the stage, pursuing peace. So that's what they're doing. They're pursuing peace, and they want to have a peace deal and sort out whatever with the lands and so forth, and just come to some agreements, and let's try to end this because there's too many lives that are just dying for no reason, and it's very senseless. And yeah, Trump is going to try to be that peacemaker, and he is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I saw that a long time ago. I told Tyson that, like Tyson the Cruz. Oh, I told him that years ago. Like I told him like a year ago that he's gonna end up being on Mount Rushmore. He's gonna end up having like a lot his way, and when he dies, he is gonna be mourned like a king throughout the world. Not just here in the United States, throughout the world, is gonna hold that man with they have so much respect for Trump worldwide that the United States is so like ignorant and stupid and didn't even know what they had right in front of them the whole time. But the world knows. The world knows what Trump and who he is and what he's about. He's a good person, man. He's doing it, and I'm just here to be a witness to everything that's happening. That's all. I'm just a witness. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Maggie. Yep, true. Too many lives lost. Yeah, it's sad. It's very sad. The amount of life lost, and the just the destruction and innocent lives. A lot of innocent children. A lot of like just you know. But the part that it's just listen, they need to come down to a deal, and and hold the peace, and they're gonna be very thankful of Trump in the future, of everything that he did to like get this deal done with peace. I mean, he's gonna be more like he's gonna be like people are gonna actually cry for Trump, you know, and he's at that age that he could die, anytime. He's already in his 80s. He has some health issues. You know, he does. I mean, they're gonna hide it, of course, but you know, he does have a lot of swelling on his ankles and feet, and he's just yeah, he has some issues, and hopefully it doesn't like take him out before his time. Been seeing a lot of people dying like out of nowhere, like they just drop dead, and it's just very weird, you know. Like a lot of people, perfectly healthy people, and next thing you know, they're dropping dead. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, we are the watchers. We watch everything every day, and we pay attention. I pay attention. I try to get people to pay attention. You know, get people to like keep an eye on everything. You know, every news, you could determine if it's bullshit or not. You could tell, you know, about the energy and on how the way they talk and the words they use. And like I always tell people, pay attention and just feed in the program, and then come to a conclusion and a determination to any situation, any story. You know, you could come to your own conclusions of what you saw. Um, but it's going to be interesting. The energy was very high yesterday. I felt it. Um, and Monday is going to be very interesting. I really, truly hope to see Zelensky in a suit. He needs to come in wearing a suit to the White House. If he does not wear a suit to the White House, I'm gonna curse him. I'm gonna curse that little troll. I'm gonna curse him with the hardest curse I could ever curse him with. You know, it's just, you know, the lack of respect. You know, that's what I just feel. You know, they told him once, they don't have to tell him twice. The fact that he didn't come wearing a suit to come to negotiations is very disrespectful. It doesn't matter if you're at a war or not. Zelensky just came yesterday wearing a suit. Okay. And the man was like, I want to buy those motherfucking jets. That motherfucking jet that just flew by me. I just looked up and I smiled with ear to ear. I want that motherfucker. How much? Like, he was trying to make deals. He was like, listen, I fucking love the jets. They're so fucking beautiful jets. Far better than what we have. And you just fucking flew a B-2 bomber over me? This is fucking awesome. Putin was like, holy shit. Like, okay. This is a sign of strength for sure. But he likes it. He's like, next time we have meeting, you come to Moscow, he told Trump. Next time we have meeting, come to Moscow. Will Trump take up that offer? I think so. I think he'd definitely take up on that offer. I mean, Trump has been a president of like he's been fearless. He's been that like that type of lion energy, you know? That like strength from within. He knows who he is and he knows what's his purpose. So he's the art of the deal. And the deal is getting these people at peace and negotiating the peace and bringing the peace, and then reap the rewards later, because there will be rewards, and handsomely like honored to like be the best president since George Washington. You know what I mean? It's like no one's gonna be better than George Washington. But Trump is really trumping the field, and the president of peace. You know, that makes Reagan fucking be smiling in his grave right now. Reagan's fucking smiling in his grave, like finally peace. You know. The only problem we have these days is fucking Israel, man. Israel with Gaza. That's just the issue that the world is just like not really paying attention right now, because the attention has been so much on Ukraine and Russia. But Israel overtaking Gaza is very, very big deal. And a lot of people are not really paying attention to it. I think that protest girl, what's her name? Greta Thunberg or something. Well, she says she's gonna make another voyage to Gaza. She's gonna go in a flotilla with a whole bunch of boats, and they're gonna try to make it to Gaza. I hope, I could see a time where this little girl gets killed, you know, and they're gonna try to mourn her as a warrior of peace, and she's trying to make herself like something important. I think she's just a puppet, a part of the show, and because you wonder who's funding this. This girl doesn't work. She's a paid activist. How does she get paid? How does she pay her bills? How does she afford to gather all these people and go on boats to a flotilla to Gaza, and all her appearances around the world, and she's all over the place. Who pays for all that? Nobody's looking into it. There should be people looking into it. I don't trust that girl. That girl, I don't know. She doesn't look like a peaceful little girl. She looks super angry all the time. She's never happy. She's never satisfied. She's just a little brat. She's a little brat. But it was a good show. I had a good time. Thank you, Maggie, for stopping by, and also to Albie, who came by, and one more that came by. She's not here now, so I'm sorry I forgot. But Robin, Robin came by, so thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'm gonna get my day going. I might go get a haircut, clean this beard up, become young again, get a haircut. I'm wearing a hat, but I got like all this hair. Look at this. I'm hairy. It's not style or anything. You see, it's all, I have hair all over. I like to have like a nice fade and kind of like a military cut, somewhat like a military cut. So, and then the beard, I gotta bring it down and clean it up. Become a young man for tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna make that appointment now and get my butt to the barbershop. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Like Tyson says, like, subscribe, and leave comments, and whatever, what Tyson says, you guys do. And I'm gonna get Tyson on here soon, so that way we could talk to him. We'll do like maybe I could do a panel. Maybe I could do like a panel show. I haven't done that in forever. But if I do a panel show, I would like Maggie to be on it, but it has to be early. We have to do it early. Like, we'll have to start the show sometime around this time, maybe a little early, because remember, Tyson's out in the West Coast time. He's in the Pacific time, so he's like 3 hours back. So like right now, it would be like 10, 12 in the morning. So this will be a good time for him like to come on and have a little panel show, have a couple of people on, and then we could pick at his brain. We could be the pigeons picking on his brain. Nah, he's good people. He's really nice people, actually. He's very he's at peace, you know? And that's what's cool, and everything's flowing pretty good for him. But I am gonna bring back magic. And we are gonna bring back the magic. And we're gonna bring back the return of magic, and then do some readings and stuff like that. It'll be something maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we could do it. We'll see tomorrow. See how things go. We could do some, maybe a reading or two. And I haven't done that in a while. That'll be fun. It's just a lot of energy going on this weekend. I hope people stay safe. A lot of things going on. That storm is just was crazy. You know, that hurricane jumping to 160. Let me check out the latest. See, they don't have it up even here yet. That's wild. Because they do the reports every 4 hours. They upload. But this is a beast. You want to check it out? Let's check it. This is the last check on the system. Give me 1 second. Let's take out Tyson. Let's come over here. Look at this beast. That's crazy, right? That is a Category 5 hurricane. All right, guys. I'm calling it a show. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I need to get 65. I got to get it all trimmed up and cleaned. All right, so tomorrow, I'll come on tomorrow. I'll talk to Tyson tonight. I'll talk to him tonight. And then I'll see if if he's willing to come on tomorrow for a little bit. And then we could talk to Tyson. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk to him tonight because I think he's gonna watch the wrestling with me tonight. So I'm gonna actually, when I get off of here, I'm gonna write to him. I'm gonna book my haircut appointment and then talk to him. Actually, let me get the appointment up. I'm here, like, give me 1 second. Okay, done. I gotta make that appointment for sure because I want that haircut. Okay. Always gotta. Okay. But the storm looks very scary, and it's at 160 miles per hour winds. So this is going to be a wild night for Puerto Rico tonight. As you can see, the feeder band is hitting Puerto Rico right now. Right, Puerto Rico's right here. What this cursor is. This is Puerto Rico. All this energy you see coming off of the storm is going to be heading right into Puerto Rico. So the feeder bands are coming from north to south, and then all this energy that's down here below is going to Puerto Rico. And I have family in here on the north and southern part, but I have a lot up here in the northern part of Puerto Rico. So they are going to be getting in a lot of rain, and there's possibility of mudslides and flooded rivers. This is going to be a little wild night tonight. It looks right now that the storm is starting to move northwards. It was moving west, but now it looks like it's turning north. You see right here? It looked like it moved north. Yeah, because look at where my cursor is. And then look where it's at now. I think I could slow this down. Hold on. Let me see if I can slow this down. Yeah, I can. Okay, so from here, see how it's moving north? So it was down here, and then it went up north. So it's moving northwards now. It's moving west-northwest. It might be moving northwest now. Because it's like from down here, and then the turn started like right here. So you see, it was moving west, and then it started going northwards. So the storm is starting to move a little bit more north. So this could be very helpful for Puerto Rico, as far as like having more feeder bands come in. Maybe this energy will come through, and some of this energy back here, but then it's gonna start pulling off to the north. And if it starts doing that'll be great for the islands. The sooner it moves away, the better it is for the rainfall. So, all right, guys, have a good day. Stay safe, and have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night, because it's night somewhere out there. And I'll catch you on the flip side, and we'll see you tomorrow. Come in early. I'm gonna do an early show, and we'll do a little return to magic tomorrow. And I'm gonna see if I could get ahead and see if I could get Tyson to come in if he's not busy, because I don't know. I gotta let him know, because it's Sunday. So see if he's available. Other than that, if he's not, then I'll have him anytime during the week. So it's not, I could get him on certain times. So I just, whenever he's available, I could bring him on. But yeah, that's about it. I'm done. Have a good day. Stay peace, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.